about rubbing. Shout it, he'll pop on anybody. Shout it, don't care about rubbing your ass on camera. Nigga better ask about me. Nigga, I take your chain, bitch. Nigga, I take your main, bitch.
So he was on Bill Maher's show. Did you guys ever watch Bill Maher? I've never even fucking given it a chance. Actually, I did. I've watched it before. And it was like, I felt like it was like a show my dad would be into. Bill Maher's Basement. And he has comedians come on there. It's crap. It's not fun. Everybody's always doing these shows where we just, at least the celebrities, everything's predictable. Just another conversation with another celebrity. I need Bill Maher bringing in people off the street, okay? We need some type of, excitement with our shows these days. It's a dead subject, and they keep wearing it out. It's like taking a wound and just cutting into it, and it won't ever heal. You gotta start doing other shit with podcasts. I mean, I'm all right, okay? I'm allowed to do this. What was I looking up? Kill Tony. Look at Tony on Bill Maher. Allegedly he didn't even make a word. He was silent the whole time.
Probiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic.
Spring is
Shay says Bill Maher's a do bad. It's great.
here, which means
so Bill Maher has this basement club show. It's random with Mark.
I need to say my sorries in private.
Okay, so stop. Let's go right here. Let's skip to the show. So he has Tony on, a legend.
And use code.
I didn't even know. I didn't know he was. This guy's still on TV. I thought his legs were completely gone. They chipped off with age.
Random 50.
When you watch him on here, and then you see that I think he still has that show on HBO, Real Time with Bill Maher.
Off.
When you watch him on here, he is goofed and twacked. Something's odd about him. He's not the same guy I see on the stage.
To get 50%
okay? Like, this guy is a fucking true actor.
off plus free shipping on your first box.
Like, he sucks on this show. He is a real bummer. No matter what he says, it's just everything he does is too slow for me. So this is his set. I'm having a ringing in my ear.
Unsuccessful, stammering, stuttering, sweating. Completely.
It was like a Walter White moment. It's like tetanitis. Having tetanitis. I think we should smoke. You guys want to have a segment called Nate Hangs Out With You? We indulge, and then we go back into Tony Hinchcliffe.
How's it going, my man?
So we're watching inside Bill Maher's downstairs. This isn't Bill Maher's fucking
Factor.
This isn't his goddamn house. He's doing this show from, I think, Tom Green's property. I think that Tom Green, allegedly, they live next to each other. I think he built, he built something next door where Tom used to have a home. After it burned down, and this is his studio.
Want to make this your best season yet? Skip.
That's all I can make of, the Tom Green episode, because I was watching the Mark David Experience, and there was a lot of talk about how he's like, this is your place, or I know there was confusion, during their podcast. I think Bill Maher runs his operation right next door. Okay.
Get the hassle of cooking and heat up a 2-minute
Hello,
meal
Brandy.
from Factor. It's nutritious, fast, and get this, gives you time to actually live your life.
All right, so he sounded like his mouth is like fucking somewhere glued shut. What the fuck is that noise when he finishes? No, he's got these goddamn lapel mics. They're dog shit. They sound so flat.
It's nutritious, fast, and get this.
This is what you're hearing right now. Just get a regular mic or do it right. Why are all these fucking people with money making things look so pathetic?
Gives you time to...
we watched you on TV. You should know how things work. Make them sound good. Your lapel mic, you sound like you're in a box, okay? And I'm listening to you through the tape that I taped over, okay? I taped you in the box.
To actually live your life.
Allegedly.
Get outside instead of prepping and cooking in.
And this is nuts. Tim Heidecker did a goof on this. But the thing is, Bill Maher really does actually, I think, have them edit it like this. Like it's some type of fucked up late night infomercial where everything is bizarro. Like everybody is not who they're, the actors don't even seem like they're real people. It's weird. I don't know if you ever seen what I'm talking about. But like he's got a real late night infomercial vibe to his like advert. What are you selling? Cookies? What is this shit?
Get started at factormeals.com/random50off and use code random50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Yeah.
All right, that was a weird cut. So we're going right into Love Line.
I didn't want to say because it sounds
with Ricky Martin. I mean, what is this shit? Why is this intro so sexy?
like name dropping.
Okay. Who was it?
Abraham.
Look at Tony Hinchcliffe's safety glasses.
Yeah, I didn't want to say
What is that? Why does he have the belt?
because it sounds like name dropping.
Okay.
Look at Tony Hinchcliffe has like some type of attachment back here, keeping these things from flying away. He's got the piss yellow the cheapest Burberrys you could ever imagine are on his face.
Who was it?
Abraham Lincoln.
I mean, you can get them from Amazon right now. 5 minutes, promise. $100, maybe 150. But you can look as cool as... What are you wearing? What is this fucking outfit? Look at the green coat. You're not the guy that can pull off like a Texas hipster. You don't have the body, and you're doing too much. I think some people at those stores are like, yeah, get that and get that. Don't put it all together. Tony goes home. He gets shit from the store. He puts it all on at once. It's on the next episode of Kill Tony. He is packed with clothing. Way too much all the time. He's too heavily clothed. What is that, a knife? You have a knife in your boot. What is this? Middle school?
I mean, even though he's like the last guy I would have over here to Club Random to like.
What is that? Why every time they cut to him, he's like. That's like Mars Attacks, the alien. Remember?
Oh, he's like the last guy.
You know what I'm fucking talking about?
I would have over here to Club Random to.
Like right here? That yak.
Like have a
That
good,
would really
a good
make
time.
it random.
Guest here?
I'm here. Hello.
Place swept up.
How's it going, my man?
This is crazy. I'm way more into the set. Why the fuck is he fucking... Look at his puppet legs. He's got marionettes. Those are fucking... Like, you had strings. Look at he's been the fall, too. He's got that, like, that the blood pressure's not flowing all the way everywhere type of arm. Watch his arm. Okay, the one, towards the camera.
Here?
I'm here.
It's looser than hell. It's sagging.
Hello.
Place
He's pre-stroke. Watch this.
swept up.
How's it going, my man?
That thing is swinging like it's Woody from Toy Story. What is this? He's got like a balloon down there, man.
How are you?
Damn.
Good. So nice to meet you,
Tony.
Tony.
This is crazy. I'd come in, but he's hidden too. These shots are incredible. The basement's fucking so small. I mean, it ain't big. They're trying their best. And maybe it goes further. Is this where he does his sex stuff, right? Is the sex dungeon? This shit's scarier than fuck. I hate this shit so much. Like, all of this has blood on it, and it's been washed off hundreds of times. This is like, this is Tales from the fucking Crypt. Bordello of blood. Like, I'm thinking vampirics. He could come in here, drive a stake right into Bill's chest. And he's like, sorry, bitch, it's darkness in here. Don't hurt me. Comes in for a bite. Come and get me. He is kind of vampire-like. He's just not, he doesn't have a whole body. He kind of looks like Andy Dick right here. That's not a good look.
How's it going, my man?
How are you?
Good. So nice to meet you,
Tony.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Bill Maher.
Look at his whole thing right here. This is what I thought was really cool. Like I said, Tony Too Much Clothes Hinchcliffe. Tony Too Much. He's probably got 2 pairs of long johns. I bet he has long johns on. I guarantee you. I remember the first time when I grew up in the South. Okay, I'd go stay the night at a friend's house. I remember one time, I probably shit his bed or something. I don't know. Okay, I needed a pair of underwear. He's like, "Here you go, long johns." I'm like, "What the fuck are these?" It's underwear for your ass and your legs.
A pleasure to.
Nah, I'll go free balling, baby. But he's probably got 2 long johns on. He's got pads under here. He looks like he's like about to go work on a house. Like the way his legs look.
Comic guy can
Like very, very tech. He's got tech gear
Tony
on.
Hinchcliffe. Bill Maher.
This is real tech to me. Pockets, way too much. You'll never, ever have enough things to put in there, Tony, or carry. If Tony filled these all the way up, he probably couldn't even stand. Couldn't even stand the pain of standing. And the way he's like sitting down is like, Tony is kind of old. Look at the way Tony sits. He's like an old gecko.
Good. So nice to meet you.
Tony.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Bill Maher.
Like right here's very stiff. Like I would have shot down, probably did a handstand, came back down. I would have been like, ew, what is this couch?
A pleasure.
What is this couch?
Oh, the insult comic. I can feel the barbs coming. Should I not sit in the front row?
No, you're safe. You're
if I'm
safe.
in the front row, am I going to get...
What is that, a harmonica? What if he did bring a harmonica in? This show could be something great. They could have a whole band that we don't even know is behind a curtain. You know, one of those fucking floating carpets. He's like, why do you have that? So it's a whole band back
Brits with the comic barbs. You're not going to ask me where I'm from.
No crowd work on you.
No, come on. Do some crowd work. Ask me where I'm from.
Where are you from?
New Jersey.
there. Look how nervous he is. You're too far along in show business to be this nervous all the time. Why the fuck's he always this nervous? Like, he is on edge. It ain't never been this good. He's out there shooting people. He's paying off cops. Living his dream. Okay? He's living the dream right now. It's a movie, as Keemstar would say. You ever heard Keemstar say his life is like a movie? My life is like... I'm Keemstar. My movie is a life. What did I click? Oh, I thought thought I stopped the stream.
Come on.
Oh, Tony's nervous as hell. That's a nervous fake laugh. It's like like that thing from Toy Story with that broken squeaker. That is not even a laugh. He's just like...
There's a slow pitch down the middle of the plate, bro. New Jersey?
That is a shithole. Indeed.
Well, come on.
Why do they have all the... Look at all the drinks down here. I like the drink assortment. Vintage.
New Jersey?
That is a real...
Yeah, we do have to get in on Mars balls. Look at the size of this goiter. Look at the size of this goiter. Not a good look. This thing is straight up set. It ain't... It's like a... I feel like he has what we would call Charles Bukowski syndrome. You know, he's all balls. This is disgusting to do, too, in front of you guys.
That is a shithole. Indeed.
No, but it's got to be done. He comes in with these super tight Freddie Mercury's on. That is insane. Why are we this tight? You're too old to be doing styles. You need corduroys on and Asics shoes with straps.
Blade, bro.
Pronto. You're too fucking old to be still trying to fit in. I'm still zooming, and it's the pants. It's not the sack. I'm zooming in on what we're dealing with. Fashion. That shouldn't be happening with, you know, the elderly, like Bill Maher. Bill Maher's got to be 150.
New Jersey?
That is a shithole. Indeed.
Well, come on, you could do better than the shithole. Isn't that what you're
Maybe I'll
famous
warm up.
for?
I like to feel the people and know them a little bit better than just straight up.
Oh, ask me what I...
Oh, what is it? Ask me what I do every day at night. What if he had like a gun inside there? M. Shell says, is he going to ask what exit?
do. And then I say nothing, and you say, how do you know when you're done? And then tip your waitress.
That's it.
So you came up through the clubs, right?
Yes. I
Still
started
in the clubs?
Yep. Started at the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's over there. Right now, he has to let him know everything he did. Look at him. There's no comedy happening at all on the show, at least from him. He's trying to prove something to Bill.
Literally 18
He's like, I was in Youngstown. What the fuck are you talking? Youngstown? That ain't shit, bitch.
years ago,
What the
yesterday.
fuck are you talking about? You're acting like you grew up in Murderland. Baltimore. Youngstown? At least for him, he wasn't in the ghetto. I feel like he was probably very close to maybe in a huge house.
My mom texts me every year on May 6th.
But that's where he grew up from. That's his story. He tells everybody. He's like, I came from the ghetto. I'm a thug. Dude, if somebody... Why can't I zoom? How do you zoom? I forgot. Oh, there we go. I was clicking Shift+. Does it work? That's crazy. It's crazy that I did that. But that's where he came from, the trenches. Worked his way up in Hollywood. Went to the Comedy Store. I guess to get into, like, doing stand-up, you have to, like, work at the place.
And reminds me. I forget.
That's crazy.
She texts me, happy anniversary.
Well, how does she know that? You just tell her everything?
Well, no, I told her that early on, and she marked the calendar, and she found it to be so interesting, my adventure.
And I would never, ever, ever in my life be that interested in something that, like, a hobby that I would want to, like, embarrass myself at the door, being like, welcome to the Comedy Store. A lot to do in there. We got a big lineup tonight. You know what I would do? I'd fucking nail the door shut. I'd be like, I don't know what happened, dude. This place is fucking crazy.
Sure, into comedy.
Nobody's coming in.
And the whole Mitzi Shore
Go to
thing.
bed.
Moms are obsessed with finding out about, at least my mom found it so intriguing.
M. Shell says, we love Be More. I have no idea what that means.
There was such a powerful, diabolical, cool-ass woman that existed.
She was all those things?
Yeah.
She was cool? I never knew Mitzi. I mean,
Wow, that was really scary. Do you guys see that small zoom? Look at the small zoom.
those things?
Yeah.
She was cool? I never knew.
There is a slight zoom happening here. Now, it could have been like a Shining moment or like, you know, one of these movies that just like, I think it was Funny Games that tried to do it. I know. There's some movies that have done long pause zoom. Not long silent zooms. Slow silent zooms. There was a very minimal zoom. They were adjusting the camera. Probably because Tony looked so small.
Mitzi, I mean,
They zoomed in. Tony was looking he was looking like a mouse.
auditioned, like,
Baltimore.
I was an improv act out here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Not that you couldn't
I'm like what you would call a uncultured pig.
do both. But I was just not her
Oh,
type
this is
of
me.
Time. But I feel guilty. It's just I don't want to spend time.
That's how I've kind of spent my life.
act. She went for the more, like,
Learning.
shall we say, theatrical.
Yeah.
Usually, not all of them. Letterman worked there. He certainly was a dry monologist.
Yeah.
Leno, but I felt like when I was there, and I go there now just for fun every once in a while. I think it's great to go.
I actually heard you were there.
Oh, I thought he was going to go to the bathroom. Do you think Tony has to go to the bathroom this whole episode? That would actually be really fucking funny if Tony, like, inside was like, didn't want to ask to go tinkle.
On quite.
And that's why he's like, you're quite the scholar. You suck, Tony. Every interview you're in, you are fucking pathetic.
Just for fun.
How did you even get up to where you're at? There's
Everyone.
never a time that I feel like I would be scared of you sitting down at dinner. I would clobber you. I say, hey, Tony. Joke, man. I'd take his job. Joe would give me his job.
I think it's great to go.
I actually heard you were there on quite the magical night, laying low. You were sitting back,
Yeah.
and it just so happened. I don't even know if you know this story.
I don't.
It just so happened to be the night that the new, brand spanking new, that day.
This is pathetic. Who does this? This is like when you're doing, like, you know, dance class.
Talent coordinator took over, which is
I've never done that in my life. That's why, like, Tony has like 1 million pounds of sugar in his tank. He's very sweet. Left foot first. Tony Hinchcliffe not only is like stacking himself with clothes, it was leaked that he's like been buying vintage furniture, MCM stuff. He's a millionaire. He clapped the guy we're gonna watch tonight on Kill Tony if we even get to it. The orange-haired guy, James McCann, he iced him and said, I go and buy very expensive vintage furniture. Okay, he goes and look. That means he's going and gandering. Tony's trying to be cultured. And also trying to be a man's man, Joe Rogan's guy. I'm waiting for the day. You know, inside he sees that Tim Dillon is, he walks on the Joe set and Joe's high five. He loves Tim Dillon being gay. Tony's just, he's waiting for when his moment is. He could finally come out. We don't see you with the lady. Where's the wife? You're too famous not to be like every other famous person and have like 7 wives already.
I think the last time they had a new booker / talent coordinator there was 8 or 10 or something years ago. And actually it was 5 years ago. And
oh, wow. Bill Maher's not listening. Look at this.
or something years ago. And
Oh, and Bill always drinks some type of tincture. It's some type of like lime root or some bullshit, like holistic crap. Bill Maher always drinks it before the show. And I don't know what it does, but he's got this little. Look at this cigar. Are we looking at now? I think Bill grows his own weed. He kind of indicated that on one of the prior episodes that I had listened to.
It was 5 years ago, and so
I wouldn't be shocked if Bill has like the finest pre-roll.
so it happened.
Look at this thing right here. This could be his own. He could have his own roller. Bill Maher would be that guy. We have one person hired here to roll his bleezies.
Oh, and actually it was 5 years
Or that's just a cigarello. I don't know.
ago.
I don't
And
care.
so it happened, and somehow, coincidentally, on that night, a comedian or whoever was supposed to go up wasn't there, and there was a young lady who we all know, Nicole Buchanan, sitting in the back of the room, who wasn't a paid regular, and the new talent coordinator, who everybody's loved forever, but she was just a bartender, and she worked her way up to being the booker.
That's nuts. I have him on fast mode, fast forward. This motherfucker literally hasn't listened at all. He hasn't said anything. That's why. You have to think backwards.
Trusted tastemaker of the store. Got Nicole Buchanan to go on
Are we really going to watch him light this thing back? I thought he was doing that because he got it out that way.
stage.
Bill
and you
Maher's
watch-
about to light his cigar the wrong mode.
I don't even know if you know this. You watched a young lady that was so funny that everybody knows and loves become a paid regular right in front of you that night.
I certainly remember, I don't remember the names,
Yeah.
but I do remember this highlight of the night was a
Yep.
woman comic.
Yep.
I mean, it often is, by the way, when I go there.
Yeah.
I'm not that the guys aren't funny
Look at the way he's bracing that chair.
too, but
Why did you buy these chairs? These are like, it reminds me a lot of Nickelodeon's girl. What was it called? Girl on the Big Couch or something? That bizarre Raggedy Ann show where the girl was on a giant couch. That's all I get from this. Very 90s, early 90s, color blotches. It's making my stomach sick.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm getting a headache from looking at it.
I just think this person was a scream.
Yeah.
And I did not know that story.
Yeah, she's great, and I've known her forever. She came up in the little roast battle world.
Well, it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it is.
And that's funny you said that.
I couldn't wait. I was waiting. I was trying to cheers them. You ever seen anybody cheers people before? They're like, yeah, man, we do it together. Clink our glasses, clink our cigars. I couldn't wait. Bill Maher does a lot of like fiddling around. I hate when people get things out and then they play with them forever until they do why they got them out. My grandma with her fucking pills. When I would go and visit them when I was a kid, my grandma would get her medicine out and spin it on the table all morning like a fucking game of dice. No way, don't do that. Wow. What did that do?
Talent coordinator. When I started in New York, the MC was the talent coordinator. There was no talent coordinator. They basically deputized one of the comedians. It was the plum job, because then you weren't fighting City Hall. Otherwise, you were fighting City. You could either fight City Hall or be City Hall. If you were the MC, also got paid $50. The comics got cab fare. $50 a night. Wow. So, yeah, that was it. And then that's the...
I'm sorry. This show sucks. I can't. It could be watched, but not by me tonight. No way. Let's go back to this.
Project selling.
I'd rather put myself through shit, all right, watching a few more minutes of this.